Okay, we're live. So I'm here with Isla, WEquil, my sister, and yeah, we're just having her on for our Innovator series. She's been doing a lot of startups from a very young age, starting from a lemonade stand when she was like 3 or 4. So
hmm
um, yeah, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello, I am Aila and I am 9 years old and I am a co-founder of WEquil.School and the CEO of Blend and Mix.
Awesome. Yeah. First, do you want to kind of tell a little bit about kind of your kind of the backstory of projects that you've done before? I know you did the Girls Health app. That was kind of the prerequisite to Blend and Mix, which is what you're working on today. But
Yeah.
do you want to kind of walk us through that?
Well, I think it all kind of started with the lemonade stand where we learned, I think that was a while back. Like we were really young, but we started this yellow lemonade stand, and we just started learning a little bit about economics, for how to calculate our profits by minusing the costs from our revenues and stuff like that. So I think over time we've kind of um we have moved on to bigger things, because I mean, I guess a lemonade stand is you can make money, but it's not exactly the most unique thing and creative thing.
Not too much
So
innovation there. Yeah.
yeah. Um and so one of the other things I did was the Girls Health app. And that was before Blend and Mix. So it was kind of one of the first things I did that was kind of related to health. Uh, and so I think I got the idea for it. And then Sumai was learning coding too. And Wei Jung was teaching me how to build in Xcode, which is more of a drag and drop coding language. Um, so yeah, I think that's some of the beginning things that we did. But you already know that since you live with me.
Yeah, and also that came from kind of some research and into things like you were really young when you started the Girls Health app, maybe
Yeah,
uh 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere around there.
I don't
But
remember. I don't really remember much.
yeah, and then so we were kind of doing some research into some of these social media platforms and how the adoption of social media just was highly correlated with some things that were really bad, like
Yeah.
and so and then that was kind of like, well, let's build our own platform where that's like kind of a wholesome community, where people are able to kind of come around it, around health, as a kind of
hmm
a shared mission. Yeah.
Because
And so
like
mhm.
yeah. So we were learning, we when we started learning about this stuff, um it was really like astonishing to see how this can affect you. So by making it more useful, by making something on the internet that's a learning opportunity is much better than I don't know, binge watching YouTube or doing dangerous things online. uh, so you kind of want to make that a better environment the best you can. So yeah.
Yeah. So do you also want to tell us a little bit more about like what blend and mix is, how you got the idea, how it started off?
Well, Blend and Mix started out as me waking up and having this idea that I wanted to make a little smoothie store in our kitchen. for the family, where it would be like $2 a smoothie or something. And to make money, so I took over a corner of the kitchen and woke up on Sunday morning and just started selling smoothies to the rest to Sume, mommy, and daddy. And then so after that, it was like, well, I guess it's not a very big thing when you're just selling smoothies to your family for $2. So then over time we just kind of built on that idea. I think we started out with just like, well, how about you sell this to the neighborhood? And then we got the idea for the app. And then I think at one point I was gonna make breakfast for every single person in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah,
we kind
you
of
guys
got a bit
just
too
started
ambitious.
off with you're gonna make breakfast, and then
Yeah,
it was like, okay, even if just 5 people sign up, that's gonna be so much work.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we just changed it to smoothies because that was kind of more of the original idea. And
Mm.
then so oh well, a while ago we started on the app, and that's kind of become more, we're just developing it more and more. And so yeah, that's how it started off, sort of. It's just these ideas can become big things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know that you've also kind of had a lot of different ideas and kind of you're kind of just doing some things for fun, and then it's kind of just turns into an entrepreneurial uh
Yeah.
kind of project. And so do you talk a little bit about maybe like Isla's amazing stage, the wands that you've been making?
Well, first I'll talk about Isla's amazing stage because that happened before the ones. And so with Isla's amazing stage, I had this idea and I just went down in the basement and I created a stage out of a coffee table and our old speaker. So I created this stage using a coffee table and a lamp, and I just started doing performance, and I set up a few chairs facing it, and I just started doing performances on it, and then I would invite my friends to do it and stuff like that in our basement, so you guys could watch. And then so after a little while of this, uh, sort of, you and I think Daddy had the idea where we could do it to the neighborhood, um, and so instead of buying a bunch of stuff like an outdoor stage or something, me and my other friend, um, did a performance on the trampoline, and we got $12, but I only got $6. So sad. Um, we split the money, but
You gotta
um,
split
so
profits, yeah.
so basically that's kind of a little side project that I did. Um, but I did get some money. So that was really fun. It was more like supposed to be more of a fun thing, but I still got to learn a bit from it about like basically the thing that you can have this idea and nowadays you can make money from it. It's really really easy if you just just try it out. Um, and even for kids, you can still do that, and it's not that hard. So I think that's something that everybody should keep in mind if they, yeah.
Awesome. And then do you also want to talk about your wands? We
Oh
don't,
yeah.
you had Isla's amazing stage and you have Isla's amazing wands.
Well, I'm actually calling them WEquil ones because it has a nice ring to it. But
Does have a
um,
nice ring to it.
so recently I've got, well, not that recently. I've got into Harry Potter like a lot. And so I just started listening to the Harry Potter books. I've read through them once, but mostly I listened to them. And and so I started making getting really interested, and I made a wand. So my first wand, I got a stick from outside and I used a carrot peeler to shred off the bark, and then I painted it. That was my first wand. I stepped on it though, so it broke. And then
Oh, no.
I used the same I used the same technique for two other wands. One of them I gave to my friend.
That carrot
And
peeler is now not for carrots, it's for wands. Yeah.
yeah, I've got a spare carrot peeler in my room that I use for making wands. So these wands are more like I don't know, they look more like actual wands in size and shape, but I realized it's much easier when you're using chopsticks. And when I started doing this, I got the idea that I could sell them to the neighborhood. And so this is something I'm doing right now. And so I'm making the website to um and the form to sell these wands to the neighborhood. So these are just a few
That was
examples of the
totally
ones I've made.
unprepared. Yeah.
And so just like something so basically the point is I had a craft and I had this thing I was doing, and then I'm finding a way to make money for it, but I haven't actually made any money yet, but I'm planning to start selling them really, really soon. Even before I get the website and stuff down, I might just go walk around and do some market research and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, one thing that I think some people might be
What?
wondering is like how do you get ideas? How do they come to you? Are you just like sitting in your room and then you just get an idea? Are you actively thinking about ideas? Is there usually like how does this channel just pop into your head and then formulate into something that's real?
Well, when I started listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks, usually it comes from things I want, and then I try and get it. Uh by buying stuff. But lately I've been doing a lot of crafts. And so my mom was like, "Oh my god, these wands are so expensive on Amazon." And so instead I just thought I'd make a wand. But usually it just pops up in my head. Uh I don't know. It comes from things like books, movies, shows, or something. It comes from the depths of something else that's not just my own head. Um, like if I want to make a gift, I try and think about what the person likes. And then when I think about what the person likes, I try and do one of those things where where it's not work to me, but it's still fun. And a lot of that is making crafts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So two of your ideas that you've done with like the blended mix and the girls health app kind of is related to health and wellness and stuff. Like what kind of got you interested in being healthy and just like wanting to be healthy?
Well, let's see. I've got three people in my family, and all of them are really interested in being healthy. I think that's probably the big reason why I got interested in that too, because I was always surrounded by people who, like, usually wanted to be pretty healthy. And so I was like, well, maybe I can do that too. And so after, I also like when I did the girls' health app, I was like doing a lot of activities like jump roping and stuff like that. And so, with Sume, mommy, and daddy's help, we kind of, I don't know, built that onto this idea that I can also help people, I don't know, be healthy too. And with the smoothie idea, well, I just like making smoothies. And even more, I like eating smoothies. And like, who doesn't like eating smoothies? So it was like, well, we can sell smoothies. But everybody, like, there are so many places that sell smoothie these days. And so we kind of did a, and so the difference with blend and mix is that you use the app to customize and build your own smoothie so you can get your perfect smoothie. Like like you're really lucky if your perfect smoothie is a strawberry and banana smoothie because that's everywhere. But usually it just makes it a lot more, like it makes it so that a lot more people will want it because you're able to customize it to your own wants and needs. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and I
that's how
think
I got the idea.
yeah, and I like what you said about how it kind of just comes from something that you want, because it's like, well, if you want it, I mean, you're not so different from everybody else. Probably
Yeah,
a
we're
bunch
all
of
humans.
yeah, and especially if it's just kind of like something like a smoothie. It's like who doesn't like smoothies? But it's like we all like different kinds of smoothies.
Yeah,
So,
because, well, I don't like kale smoothies. But I know
right.
Sume loves kale smoothies. That's why she eats kale smoothies every day. And so I'm probably not gonna sell kale smoothies on any of my smoothie shops unless it's a customizable smoothie shop. Um,
Right. And it's spinach
yeah.
smoothie. But yeah, right.
Spinach
Okay.
doesn't really taste like anything if you add other stuff,
Exactly. That's why I like it. So,
but
do you
kale.
see do you see yourself as an innovator? And if so, why?
Well, I don't think I'm old enough to really appreciate what the word innovator means. Like, I don't know, I make stuff and I try and get the most out of it by, I don't know, helping other people while helping myself. And I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think I would disagree with you because you are, I mean, unlike many other 9-year-olds, you're working with so many different entrepreneurs and innovators and people doing new things and so I think you are, I don't know. I don't think being at a certain age has anything to do with it. I think it's just your experience. And I think you have plenty of experience with that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
well, maybe a better question as kind of like a prerequisite is what does being an innovator kind of mean to you? What does innovation mean to you? What do you think would be a good definition?
Well, there's creating things and then there's creating things to help other people and yourself. And I think there's a big difference between the two, and I think part of being an innovator is understanding that and trying to use it to help other people. And creating things that are different but can still be useful to others. And I think one way to figure that out is trying to see what's useful to you and why. And if it's for really specific reasons, I think you want to try and I don't know, rethink that. But I think innovator means to me being able to being able to make other people's life better, um, while also helping yourself. And and I don't know, and also having it involve creativity and 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 doing that creatively and and uniquely, and having it unique from other people, because if you're just doing what everybody else is doing, then it's yeah, you're helping other people, but so is everybody else in that way,
Right.
I
I
guess.
guess just doing what everyone else is doing is kind of just
Yeah,
an antithesis of innovation because you're not
yeah,
innovating on anything.
yeah,
Yeah. So I guess kind of with that, just a summary of what you said, it's just kind of like helping other people, helping yourself in some kind of new way, with
yeah,
creativity.
in a new way.
Mhm. Ah, so given
A
that,
deep
would you
question. Very deep.
very deep. So given that, would you say you're an innovator or
Well, I guess, would you say giving other people toys would be helping other people? Because
yeah,
what if you poke yourself in the eye with this thing?
then maybe not. Then maybe not. But gotta make sure that you have like an
I
instruction.
guess that's giving other people happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's also
So,
different kinds of like adding value to people. You add value to people by like maybe giving them valuable information, but then you also might be adding value to people by giving them a source of entertainment so that then they can kind of come out refreshed and be able to do more valuable things because they kind of have a way of kind of recharging themselves, you know. So I guess
yeah, I
maybe
think,
and that means more value.
yeah. Well, I think I'd call myself an innovator, but not to many people. Not to that many people, at least.
What do you mean not to many people?
Well, well, I I haven't made a lot. I haven't made anything from blend and mix. Nobody's used that because it's not done. And nobody used the girls' health app either.
Because it was never done.
And
I mean, why is because you kind of used Girls Health app to make blend and mix, so it was kind of like you got a
I
better
guess
idea.
I've done Girl Scouts. I've done Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but that doesn't fit your definition of innovation because it's not really new, right? You're not really
Yeah.
doing anything new. Many
So,
So
hmm,
one question I have is kind of there might be a lot of young people, uh kids who have an idea like they're listening to their Harry Potter or whatever book they like and an idea pops into their head. And
yeah.
then what would be your advice to them on how they can really take that and make it into something useful to other people to start going to make it so that it's kind of like to keep their motivation up to try to turn it into a product? Like you've been working on blend and mix for a pretty long time. Like this has been a pretty big project. How do you kind of keep motivation? um how are you turning it into something that's real, that affects other people?
Well, I think when you get an idea, you want to start out small and you don't want to do anything big at first. So, you want to go around first. If you get an idea for selling something, then I think the first step you want to do is to ask people about their opinion if they would like it. What would they get? What would they give for it? And depending on those results, I think you want to try and think up other ways you could put it into being, because not all ideas are going to be good, but some ideas are going to be awesome. And if you get an idea, you can also build on it so that it becomes really good. So I think the first thing you want to do is try and build on it, and then you can try making something big out of it. But don't immediately jump to saving the world.
Right, because you might save the world wrong.
You
Yeah,
might
and so I
try
think
and save the world, and then
people
I don't
don't like
know.
what you do. Yeah, I mean, I think you don't want to have just like this giant vision and then you spend
You spend a
15
lot of
years.
time, money, and energy on it, and then it might crumble down into nothingness.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll still be there, just people won't use it. So what's the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you should probably want to think about it and ask other people before you try and save the world.
Mm. What would you say is kind of like the main way that you kind of find motivation? Because some things like with blended mix, when you're programming and you get an error, it's not super fun, because like a smoothie company sounds super fun. You're like making smoothies, you're delivering it, but when you're having an app and you get an error, then that's not like the funnest thing in the world. So, what would you say is like where do you find motivation when you're kind of in those moments and you're kind of a little bit down, but you want to keep going?
Well, I think one of the big things is if you go out and say you're going to do something, you're going to have so much, like an insane amount of motivation to try and do it because then other people are counting on that. But also another thing is that you want to keep that vision inside your head. You don't want to squash it to the ground. You want to keep the vision of what you're actually trying to do with you. Because if you don't have that, then you're not going to want to do anything. And I think when I get into an error and I miss a comma, in
That's where most
then
errors come from. Yeah.
I have enough confidence to keep going, and even if like you get an error, then you just I don't know. You just keep the vision inside your head and try and figure it out. And if you have any questions, just ask other people. Because if you get over that, if you have enough confidence that you're not embarrassed to ask other people questions, then it's going to become a lot easier.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. This is kind of related to motivation, but like what gets you up in the morning? What gets you excited to start the day other
my
than
alarm clock.
Yeah, of course your
I
alarm clock.
don't wake up being excited and having brilliant ideas of of
I
how
don't
to
think
save the world.
I
I
don't
don't
think
wake up
anybody
like
does.
that.
But like what gets you energized? What gets you just like, today's gonna be a good day. Maybe that's not every day where you wake up and you're like, yeah. But at least like on
Well,
those days, what is it?
I wake up and I think of something happy or I look at something happy. Like I try and make my room look very happy. So if I wake up and see the snitch dangling in my closet, like the Harry Potter snitch, I made a snitch. Um, then probably the first thought that pops into my head is a happy one.
Mm.
Um, but if you're surrounded by things that make you happy and not surrounded by things that make you really boring, then you're probably gonna be a happier person. Which is actually there are studies on it. Like if you wake up and if when people's room are cleaner, then they're probably gonna be more happier and they're gonna do more stuff.
Right, because
When
you
I
see
wake up
you
and
wake
see
up
my
and you
fort, when I wake up and see my fort in my room, it's not the one in Lost Laptop. I've got a tiny one. Um, then I'm like, look at this big accomplishment I made. And then I
Right.
have
I
a
guess it
happy thought.
depends on what you find happy, because some people might
Yeah.
see a fort and be like, "Oh no, I have to clean that up." I guess that's the downside of a messy room is you wake up and the first thing you think is, "Oh no, I gotta do something about this." But
Uh-huh.
I guess you wake up and you see your snitch and you're like, "Today's gonna be a great day."
Yeah. But if I wake up at Juna barking in her crate, um,
Which is
then
happening.
my day just start off not the best it could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't really thought about that all that much. Is like making your the environment when you first start the day really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So, um, is there anything else you wanted to cover, or if not, you can tell people if they're interested in what you do. How can they find you? How can they learn more about WEquil.School, Blend and Mix, or anything else you do?
Well, I think you can go to you can go check out the projects on WeQuil.School, and there are a bunch of stuff there that's really cool. And also, um I think for blend and mix, there's a page on WeQuil. I think there's the page on WeQuil startups. Um But yeah, there's not much. There's not much for to say. You can just go to, yeah,
WeQuil.com
go
slash blend and
down, and then you can, and also just check out like the YouTube channel. You can check out Facebook and Twitter and the WeQuil.School, WeQuil.com, WeQuil.Startups, and then there's another one, right?
and yeah, and also yeah. I mean, you can also find us on our YouTube channel. So
Oh, and WeQuil.app.
yeah, good
Yep.
job. And so yeah, I mean, thank you so much for coming on, Isla. I mean, yeah, this has been really fun. And
Hmm.
I think you definitely qualify as an innovator for our innovator series. So
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Well, bye everybody.
Bye bye.